This video, I'm gonna demonstrate the kettlebell swing. This is one of my absolute favorite exercises for any athlete, and especially for golfers who we really need to work on those hips, glutes, the posterior chain, and just getting a lot of power through our low body, our hips, and our core. All right, but commonly, there's a few errors that pop up. So first, I'm gonna demonstrate how to do it, and then a few drills to make sure you're doing it correctly, okay? So first up, when we get into our stance, I believe it's like about a shoulder width stance, feet are slightly turned out, and we wanna make sure that we initially hinge our hips back. This is a posterior chain exercise, meaning the back side of our body. So when I hinge back, I should feel that load already in my hamstrings and in my glutes, and my core is gonna be nice and engaged, okay? So hinge back. Now, I wanna be, a foot or so away from the bell. So that's actually a little too close. I'm gonna put it out in front of me. Now with that hinge back, my back is flat, core is tight. I wanna reach out and pull the bell down slightly, and then I'm gonna grab the horns here, and we call it breaking the stick. So I'm gonna act like I'm gonna break this in half like I would break a stick. That's gonna really help me engage my lats and get a nice, tense upper back. All right, so here we go. Then from here, we hike and swing. So here we go, hike the bell. I have a subtle bend in my arms, and you'll notice where the camera is, you saw the bottom of the bell, okay? So that's very important. That means I swung the bell, and it got about, level with my shoulders, and I got all that power from my lower body, not my arms, had a subtle bend in my arms. So from the side, it looks like this. Snap. And now think about what I looked like at the top. Boom. If I took that to the ground, that's a plank. So you finish in a standing plank, very solid, okay? Now, the biggest problem is people wanna overuse their upper body, okay? So we get into this position, and instead of using our hips, we just swing the bell with our arms. I'm exaggerating, it doesn't usually look that bad, but I didn't use my hips, I didn't get enough power, it didn't swing, I just raised it. The bottom of the bell was pointing at the ground, it's no longer pointing at the camera, okay? And here's a telltale sign. You can take a towel and wrap it around the horns. Make sure you grip it tight, and you'll see, if I get a swing, there's hips. If I don't, there's arms. The bell points down. So, a couple of tips here. Bear with me. I like to tell people that if you were going to move a table across the room, and I was gonna pay you $1 million if you got it all the way across the room, and you couldn't use your hands, you just had to use your hips, you would go boom like that as hard as you possibly could, right? And that's what the kettlebell swing is. It's this lower body, feet are grounded, loaded into the hamstrings and glutes, and we fire. So a few more reps for you. And I think one thing you should do is get a bell that's pretty heavy, because if it's light, you can use your arms and get away with it. If it's heavy, you have to use your legs. So this one's like 53 pounds. I don't know, depending on your experience, what you should use, but I mean, people can swing, I can swing a 150 pounder. Like, you can swing a lot of weight when you use these, all right? So here's how it looks. See, it's violent, that violent hip thrust there. That's the kettlebell swing. One of my absolute favorite exercises. There are so many variations, I won't even begin to get into them, but that's the one you start with, the kettlebell swing. Excellent for golfers, get that hip drive, because we know that all that power in our golf swing comes from the lower body. Kettlebell swing is a great way to do it. So if you like this video, please make sure, hit the like button and subscribe down below.